on the News Channel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Expert here on Open Line on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Casey Mason, and we are so happy to have our guests from Creekside Assisted Living joining us again this evening. So great to have you both back on set. We've got Claudia Harris, the Executive Director, and Lori Domer, the Marketing Director, joining us again here on set. It's been a little while since we've had you on, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for
having us.
having
Happy to have you in. I always like to kind of reintroduce you to our viewers tonight, so hang out with us this evening. We're going to be taking any calls that you may have tonight about any questions in the topic, of course, senior living. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but first, let's just go ahead and reintroduce you to everyone again. Just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, my name's Claudia Harris, and I'm the Executive Director. I started with Creekside 7 years ago when we opened as the Marketing Director, so I've kind of grown up with the community, and my role is just to sort of oversee things, and we have a great team, and Lori's been with us for a while. Lori and I go back a long way, so that's me in a nutshell.
Wonderful. Lori, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lori Domer, and I'm the Director of Sales at Creekside, and I was with Claudia when we opened up the building 7 years ago, so I like to say that we're both older than the dirt that's actually there. I took a little hiatus, and then of course came back when she became Executive Director to put this little team back together. So, and we go back professionally about 15 years. So I mean, it's a good working relationship. We can kind of feed off one another and know the direction that we're both thinking about. So.
Wonderful. And of course, you both come to us from Creekside. Let's hear a little bit about the facility and your location as well.
We're located in Murfreesboro off of Highway 99 in Cason Lane. We have 56 assisted living beds, and then we have 21 beds in our memory care that's attached to our main building, and then we have a new concept of 3 villas. There are 3 freestanding villas that are memory care with 12 private suites in each one, so we have a relatively large campus.
Wonderful. And of course, last time we had you all on here for our Open Line segment, we got into such a great conversation about so many things, and we plan to do the exact same thing tonight. We're kind of keeping it also with the holiday season, a couple of our talking points this evening.
Right.
So I want to, of course, always invite you for just now joining us. This is called Ask the Expert. Our experts here, not me, them, talking just, about any questions you have this time of year about senior living, assisted living, maybe some stories that you want to share or comments. Ladies are happy to answer them. I'm going to go ahead and remind you of that number. It's right there on your screen, 615-737+. Feel free to give us a call, and we are so happy to hear what you have to say this evening. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the background, just some general information. If you've never heard of Creekside, obviously located, here in the Middle Tennessee area, but let's talk a little bit more about what you all do. It is assisted living and memory care. Let's chat about the services provided out there.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the assisted living, and I'll let Lori talk about memory care. With assisted living, it's the idea is that people come to us when things start getting a little challenging or difficult at home, totally different from a nursing home. They have apartments, they get to choose different styles and floor plans, and our job and our responsibility is to support folks when they need, that extra help. There are a lot of reasons that people will choose assisted living. Most often, it's as people begin to have some memory issues and they need help, whether it's taking medicine or with meals. We can do as little or as much as somebody needs. We have a few residents that still drive. It's just like being at home as far as you can come and go as you want to. You can have company and guests, but we're just there to help. And as time, we do what we call aging in place, which means when someone moves in, our goal is that Creekside can remain their home through end of life. And as they need more help, then we're able to provide whatever assistance they might need as time goes on.
It's really about keeping their independence.
Absolutely, yes.
And so many activities involved. I mean,
Yes.
really, it is a busy lifestyle with
Yeah.
Creekside.
So, and that's the assisted living. Now, as we have a lot of folks that either, sometimes they'll move into assisted living, and as time goes on, they may transition into our memory care. And then, of course, we have families and residents that have moved straight into the memory care, which is for folks that have Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive challenges.
And Lori, will you kind of tell us a little bit more about that side of Creekside?
The memory care is all-inclusive of care, which means when they're in the assisted living, it's kind of an a la carte, like she was saying. As much as they can do independently, we can help with the rest. But when you move into our memory care facilities, it's all-inclusive care. There's no additional charges. So as much care as they need, we can provide for them. It's a secured area, so if they wander, families can go to sleep at night and not worry that they're going to get out and it's going to be cold and they're going to be out in the weather. It's all secured. The staffing ratio is very good. They also they still get choices. They still can choose to do activities or not do activities. Everything goes from being very large to a very small area, much still like the assisted living. They have their own dining room, their own hair salon, their own activity rooms, their own exercise areas, their own common areas and quiet areas. It's just much smaller. It can go from being in our dining room where 60 people sat to 12 people. So it's very intimate, and when you can have that few folks under one roof, you can have all the behaviors. It's not like having 50 behaviors. It's having 12 unique people under one building, which is much more manageable when you have cognitive impairment than if you had 50.
Wonderful. Last time we had you all on the show, we really talked a lot about the apartments and the personal touch that you can actually have in each one of the units. Family members welcome. This really is a unique campus. I call it a campus in a way.
It is a campus.
Yeah. Tell folks a little bit about the way you all really make it home.
Well, regardless of whether you're in assisted living or in the memory care, when somebody moves in, we want you to decorate, bring your furniture, so you personalize. You know, they're very personal. We have folks that are just like the rest of us, are minimalist, and then we have the people that like to cover every inch of space in their apartment, and that's okay, because as long as it's their home. And so, you know, we encourage people to bring things that are going to make them feel comfortable and make them feel at home. And that's true whether you're in assisted living or whether you're in the memory care.
And now I wanted to know a little bit about the process. I'm sure a lot of folks watching, this was a question we receive a lot, is kind of the beginning stages of this process. When you have a loved one that you see that perhaps would be better off in assisted living at Creekside or even the memory care, what are some of the beginning signs that you would like to help folks recognize?
Number one is generally finances. Families come in and see that bills haven't been paid, property taxes haven't been paid. That's one of the big key indicators. Also, meals. Families may be losing weight. They may have expired food in their refrigerators or in their pantries, and they just are realizing that mom and dad just can't keep up.
And medicine, that's a really big one.
Yes.
That, you realize that somebody they're either not taking their medication at all, or they're forgetting that they took it, so they may take it twice. Right. So medication management, we probably do medication management for 98% of our residents.
Absolutely.
Because that's a real biggie, and that can be very dangerous.
Very important aspect there. Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of those regular everyday routines that one would typically remember slipping away. That is a good indicator. We'll get more into some of the signs that families can look out for, as well as I'd like to talk later about the beginning stages of reaching out to Creekside. But first, we actually have our first caller of the night. We have Mary on line 1. Hi, Mary. What's your question for us tonight?
Hi, yes. Thank you for taking my call. I just have a quick question. I think my parents are in that stage that they might be needing some assisted living. However, they refuse to even go with me to check out places or to, explore that option. I was wondering if you do in-home visits to kind of bring the information to them and kind of help convince them to then go to the facility.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for calling in. I'll let you take that away.
Absolutely. We would love for families to reach out to us to do in-home visits where we can where it's less of an invasive for them to come. It's overwhelming because initially when your first visit, they're fearful that you're just going to leave them, whether they've chose to be left there or not. So yes, if we were to come out into the home, we could bring, photographs, stories, where it's a comfortable setting where they can make that connection with either myself or Claudia, whoever goes and visits, and they could make that connection where when they come in, they feel like they've already made a connection and they're going to see me and I'm going to give them a tour and they're already going to be comfortable. So absolutely, in-home visits are something we would love to do. Reaching out to families, that is very important.
Wonderful.
And we also invite folks to, like Mary, for instance. Mary may want to come and just visit herself, the first time, and then maybe something that doesn't seem as invasive as to bring her parents back for lunch. And they can just, when someone does that, we'll normally seat them, let them sit with residents so they can share their experiences and, and they can talk about, they can answer questions. You expect me or Lori to tell you all the really great things, but the residents, our residents really will sell our building because
and with that being said, we don't stay with them in the dining room. We just turn them loose with the residents, and everybody's like, are you not afraid to do that? And I'm like, not at all, because the residents tell the true story of who we are.
Wonderful. We'll keep those calls coming in. We are so happy to hear from you tonight here on Ask the Expert on Open Line. Keep it right here on News Channel 5 Plus. We'll be right back.